Good morning. I'm Suzanne with you today in our English session. Today we are discussing some important point that cause confusion when we are answering MCQ relating to grammar issues, and it's about noun-verb agreement, but a special case. So here we will start with the first case, and the cases we are talking about today is about the cases that we got a word that may seem that it's a plural or means plural thing, but it will take a singular verb. So let's take the first case. So if we are talking about amounts and the quantities, and in this case we are talking about them as one unit, we give them a singular determiner or a singular verb, or replace them with a singular pronoun. So we have here some good examples. The first one is $50. So although it's $50, we are giving it the verb is, not are. Why this? Because we are dealing with $50 as one unit, not as counting how many dollars you have, but as one unit. And here we have another example here, number 2. 20 miles is a long way to walk. So here also it is the same case. We are talking about 20 miles as one unit, and in this case we are talking about it as long way to walk. The third example here, where that 10 pounds you borrowed from me. So I'm talking about this as an amount of money borrowed. So the idea is I'm talking about 10 pounds as one thing. Let's move to another case in which we will have plural nouns but with a singular verb. Here, some expressions joined by and take a singular verb, even though they may contain a plural noun. So, what kind of cases we have here? Sometimes there are two nouns that are usually used together, that people start to think about them as one single idea, as one thing. So the example here we have is a famous thing in the breakfast menu, and of course it's like more famous in USA. This is bacon and eggs was served for breakfast. So we are dealing with bacon and eggs as one thing, because this is the way they are dealing with it in a breakfast menu in a restaurant in USA. The second example here is where is the cheese and biscuits, and also this is something maybe that's not familiar to our culture here, but it's famous in USA, cheese and biscuits. So they are dealing with it as one unit, as one thing, because they are usually mentioned together. Third case here, more than one. And this is one of the most confusing cases. Like usually when we are thinking about more than one, this means 2, 3, 4. And in this case, it means that it's not singular, but it will be dealt with by a singular noun or a singular verb or singular pronoun. So here we have a good example. If things continue like this, more than one person is. So I'm talking about more than one, but I will use the singular verb is. So remember this case, more than one. We also have a famous case, countries having plural names, but they take singular verbs, or singular, they may be replaced by singular pronouns. So we have here two famous examples, United States of America. So although it's not one state, we are saying states, but it will take singular verb because it represents one country. And also we have here in the Arab world the United Arab Emirates, and although it's not one emirate, it's Emirates, but it will take a singular verb because it represents one country. So here we have example, the United States of America is one of the most developed countries in the world. And let's have a famous choose question here, MCQ. So we have here 5 liters of oil, and you are to choose, is it, will you give it is or are not enough to travel from Cairo to Aswan? So in this case we will use is, because we will deal with 5 liters of oil as one unit. So like we are expressing amount of something or quantity of something, and we are talking about this amount or this quantity as not enough to travel from Cairo to Aswan. Okay, so here we have another famous or another confusing case, and this is about things joined by or nor. So we have the idea of neither nor or either or sentences, and we have been writing examples about this in our previous lesson. So the verb agrees with the subject which is near to the verb. What does this mean? Let me explain more. So here I'm giving you almost the similar example but with some kind of tiny change. I'm saying here neither the monitors nor the principal is responsible for this. So I have here monitors, which is a plural word, and I have here principal, which is a singular word. And because this is the last word or the nearest word to the subject, sorry, the verb, I will use a singular verb. So the last noun before the verb will decide if we are going to use a singular or a plural verb. So here we have a singular word, principal. So I will not put the verb according to monitors, no, according to principal. So if I make like reorder the words here in this sentence, I will say neither the principal, so I have put here the singular word, nor the monitors. Here we have the plural verb, and in this case the verb will change into plural. So as we got the nearest word to the verb as a plural noun, we will put the verb in the plural case are. Okay, this is a very important case to remember.